I made 35,000 US dollars trading ERC404 in just 24 hours, and I'm going to teach you everything so you can do the same. By the way, welcome on Handsome Finance, where we study what's happening on chain because it's an open ledger, so we can see who made money, who lost money, follow the smart money, and make even more money. So don't forget to pour down your little matcha and let's get going. Instead of telling, I'm rather a guy that prefer to show. We can see this trade where I have unrealized 31K and my second trade that entered in this morning where we are around 3.3K. So that's really 35K. Now I took some profit already because I'm not fully degenerated, but you will understand how I find those deals, how you can get in, and how you can possibly do the same amount of money. And I know now you might be wondering, but why, Antoine, you're not jumping everywhere like all the other YouTubers every time they do a gain or they do a great call? Because we've been doing this over and over on this channel. I think I made more than 10 calls and only 2 were not that good. That's a crazy ratio. And it even scares me as well because I'm like, I don't want to share anything. I want to stay on the good strike. Anyways, this video was 1 day ago. I show you something at what, like 299. Today, it's at 2,922. This was a 10x just for you, under your eyes, for just 24 hours in. So please, now it's time to stay until the end of this video to click subscribe, click the notification bell, because I said it to my best friend, guys, please get in. I don't want to be the only one with a yacht. It's going to be fucking boring at the top. But first, let's be sure that you understand what is an ERC404. It's a combination of a ERC20 and an ERC grammar. I'm sorry if you watch this video. I'm going to explain you everything because don't worry, it's simple. The ERC20s, they are tokens. For example, the UDBot token, it's probably an ERC20 traded on the Ethereum blockchain. And the ERC721, it will be one of those famous JPEG. But to understand exactly how it works, let's check one of the transactions. For example, this person 2 days ago swapped almost 1 Ethereum to get 9.8 DFrog. Okay? So DFrogs will be the token, the ERC20. I can actually open it here and I have my token. Now, what happened as well in this transaction is that we had a mint of 10 DFrog, which are those NFT. And why we had a mint of 10 and not 9.8 is because you can't mint 0.8 or 0.x of a NFT. But this wallet already had more than 0.2. So in the end, 10 DFrog in the wallet, which make a minting of 10 DFrog. And this wallet, I know it well because it's my wallet. By the way, I mean one of my wallets, because I know some of you guys try to copy my trades. And if I'm the one who teach you how to copy someone, I know how to not be able to be copied. But this is for another story. I will tell you later on how I can manage to copy some of the best traders. Why I want to take time to explain to you, because it's so important. We never saw something that gained adoption so fast. Binance started to list it in their wallets, not yet on the exchange, but that could come soon. CoinGecko even created a category for ERC404, where you can see the price evolving of all those tokens. And even it starts to get listed on some centralized exchange like BingX, and we have a link in the description if you want to get some free tokens. However, how it works is important to understand to be able to trade it. So thank you, Stacy Murr, for doing this. But if you hold less than 1 ERC404, you can just trade the token. You don't have it. But if you hold more than 1 ERC04, you have 1 token plus the NFT. So you can either trade the NFT or the token, and we can see it here. If you hold 1 ERC404 plus you sell 0.05 ERC, then you burn the NFT, but you still have 0.05 of the token. And if you hold plus 0.5, you buy plus 0.5, we saw that, you mean an NFT. And if you hold 1 ERC plus sell the NFT, then you sell as well the ERC404. You understand? They are linked always together, but you can split them. And that's why it's important, because those NFT that we remember, like the trade of NFT was disgusting in 2022. The crowd it brought to crypto, let's not even talk about it. But it was not easy to trade. You had to find someone who wanted to buy the NFT that you listed. There was no liquidity. You could not buy 0.1 NFT, 0.2, whatever. It's just too complicated. And now it simplifies it. It improves the liquidity. We don't have to do some stupid launch where we have to wait and then mint, and then it's a terrible experience. We don't have to start a Discord with 10,000 degenerates that's just going to hope to get a free NFT or free mint for cheap. This is why everyone is talking about it. This is why you clicked on this video. This is why I made 35K, and this is why you should be able to do the same. By the way, I don't want to be the guy who only share his win and never assume when he lost a bit. I'm not ashamed that, for example, on Anon, I went on and now it devalued in money. So probably here, my unrealized $1,000. Oh, poor Antoine, you lost $1,400, but still made 35K. So some people will rather remember this, and some other people will remember the wins. You do whatever you want. However, this trade taught me something, because to have one Anon, there's only 400 NFT available. That's exactly one part of the problem. For example, this contract Anon, if I wanted to trade it to buy one Anon, I will need to spend $6,000. Now, it's not a price problem, but the problem is that there's only 400 JPEGs. So you can have a lot of people that are going to create a network effect by putting it as their profile picture or sharing it on Twitter. And it will be really hard for someone to own it, because to be able to gamble $6,000, because everything we do here is not financial advice and it's not dating advice as well. This is pure entertainment, and if we make money, we make money. But those one, we're not going to see any volume as well on OpenSea. So less exposure on Twitter, less exposure on OpenSea, and less people being able to afford it. For me, that's 3 negative points. Where are the trade on defrogs, for example, we have 10,000 defrogs. So then you can see a lot of people selling the defrog here or selling it somewhere else. The activity will be bigger and it can raise more awareness. So today, if I had to do it again, I will not choose a project that have less than 5,000 NFTs. Maybe 1,000, that will be my minimum, which is validated actually by the biggest project, Pandora, which have 10,000 avatars. The market cap around 234 million. If you were in the investors boardroom, you heard about it on the 0206 at 7 a.m. Yes, that's right here, a little bit below $5,000, and now it's at $30,000. I guess now it's time to figure out, but how do we find those projects? And how can we be early on it? One of the first steps will be to just look on Twitter, ERC404. You can find tons of good information, a lot of profile around it. You can even create a new profile around it. I explained that in another video, the strategy, but you know this, when you're hands-on finance, you don't just watch one video, you watch them all. So you gain knowledge about on-chain analysis and everything that we do here. So you can make more money just by copying the smart money. And by doing that, you will start to have a lot of the good projects. Of course, I cheat a little bit at this process because I'm not going to be the guy who spend all his day on Twitter, but it depends which tools you have and what kind of resources you have. For example, I will check the people that first talked about defrog, the people that maybe are in non-playable coin, in Yes, Pandora, Anon, defrog, all the first collections. However, in my opinion, it's not enough. For example, Tadpole, we talked about it in the investors boardroom. Again, at 9:29 a.m. 9:29 a.m. it was here. It was not even launched yet. I waited a little bit after it was out and managed to buy it around $370. But let's get up to speed, because maybe you're not in the investor's boardroom, because I don't know, some people, they just don't want to be surrounded by some of the best on-chain analysts and then think, if I go in a free Discord server, I will get all the best informations because they let everyone in. No. Actually, the thing that slows us the most in all our research in the group is people on Twitter that don't know anything about what they talk about. Because every time there's a contract that is posted and they are not in, they're like, it's a scam, when it's actually not a scam. They just didn't manage to analyze it and they just create tons of noise. And I hate the noise. So let's get back to DEX screeners, which gonna help you to know all the last coins that were listed if you apply just few filters. So you can know, for example, the few fluted, I don't know what is this. I'm not gonna pronounce this. The pixels, the Morpheus, the hack. There's probably nothing interesting except we get this one, Pudgy 404. By changing a little bit my filters, of course, the best bet you could be in today was or is probably still Tadpole. That's the two major way. The third way will be to find the best investors, you find their wallets, and then you check what they are going in, and you can go at the same time and you copy them. Most of those smart money, they use one thing, which is Banana Gun. I will put you a link in the description where you will get a discount. But it's a bit more advanced, a bit more technical, but that's where I believe you can make a bit more money, and I will start to copy trade some. So don't forget to subscribe if you want to follow that. And I have to say, what I learned trading those is that I have to say no most of the time. Lead by example. I was studying Potion this morning. It went up and then went down. My other trade still went up. And I was studying eggs that went up and then crashed. Now it's a bit back up. I don't think I will go into those trades, but if you want to study a little bit more, maybe there's an opportunity. However, for me, I'd rather go for the best opportunity. By the way, I hope like everything I say in this video, we keep it secret, because my girlfriend this morning at the gym, she told me I look like the actor in Superman, and she don't know that I trade Tadpole, which I have to say is a bit shameful. Plus on top of that, I'm also on the deep frogs, where at least I guess I'm fully French. That's the good thing about it. Now you have all the cards to find the best ERC404. What you could do next is to just check on CoinGecko, the biggest one, Pandora, Defrogs, Rug, Froggy Friends, Tadpole, to understand how they work. Because if all those platforms and all those developers are going around it, it's probably because we're gonna have some money to be made in it. My next step is going to be checking who I can copy, who made a lot of money, who maybe have some insiders information, because I know that those contracts were released in a closed circle at the beginning. That's how it works in crypto. So if you find the right person, you just can copy them. And for you, the next step is probably to watch this video, because I explain all I went on my trade, and you have to be careful because those trades, they are not for everyone. Okay? Stay careful and don't forget one thing. It's not about drinking water, but that could help. It's just stay handsome. Ciao.